Hello and welcome to another bikepacking Q&A video. When I tell people I make bikepacking adventure films, the reply I often get is, where's the best place you've been bikepacking? And this got me thinking, where is the best country in the world for bikepacking? Before I give you my opinion, it'd be good to hear your thoughts on this as well. So drop a comment in the comments section below if there's a country that you think deserves the award for the best country for bikepacking in the world. I'd love to get your feedback because I go bikepacking in a different location every single month. So if there's somewhere that you recommend, I want to hear about it and I want to go. So I've made my choice based on 6 factors, and the first one is accessibility. I want the roads and the paths and tracks to be second to none. I don't want to find myself riding on busy main roads all of the time. And the second one is stunning scenery. I want to be amazed when I go around a corner or over a mountain and just get blown away by the stunning, breathtaking scenery. Number 3, I want the country to have a great history and culture, because although I'm there for the landscape and the nature, it is nice to take a step back and learn a little bit more about the culture and the country that I'm visiting. Number 4, I want this country to have loads of different camping options. Not just camping, but also other accommodation, so that I've got plenty of options to pitch up or stay somewhere overnight. Number 5, I'm calling the wild factor. I want to be able to get away from it all and feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere, on my own, in nature. Now, having said that, I don't want to find that I'm hundreds of miles away from civilization and literally in the middle of nowhere. I just want it to feel like that. And number 6 is weather. I want it to be mostly agreeable and warm. So what is the best country in the world for bikepacking? In my opinion, the country that ticks most of those boxes is Scotland. I've been to Scotland so many times and I'm always blown away by how amazing it is for bikepacking. So why did I choose Scotland? Let's look at those 6 points that I mentioned before. Number 1 is accessibility. All the footpaths have permissive access with a bike, so you can pretty much go anywhere in Scotland without being told off for taking your bike there. The roads as well are really quiet if you go on the B roads, middle of nowhere tracks. You're not stuck to busy highways like you are in some countries. You can really be taken away from the cities very quickly. Number 2, the scenery, and to be honest, the scenery speaks for itself. Scotland is world class in terms of its scenery, unbelievable landscapes. And what's so amazing about it is not a massive country, and this landscapes vary so much from place to place. You have the fjords almost on the west coast, you have the islands that are really remote, the mountain ranges in the Cairngorms. Over to the east you have more rolling hills and even flatlands that's mostly farmland. You get a huge difference in literally a couple of 100 miles. Number 3, the history and culture of Scotland is absolutely fantastic. It's well documented and it goes back thousands and thousands of years. And a lot of the cycle trips I've done end up going past very significant historical landmarks. It's also got a lot of UNESCO World Heritage sites as well, which are interesting places to stop off in between cycling locations. Number 4, wild camping is permitted in Scotland. I know there are other countries in the world where wild camping is permitted, but it's very much encouraged and it seems to be a very common occurrence. As long as you're not camping in someone's garden, there's loads of places where you can just pitch up your tent or your hammock, and it just allows freedom and flexibility when you're planning your routes. Another great thing about Scotland, accommodation-wise, is there are lots of mountain bothies, which are basically old buildings, old derelict buildings that have been converted into emergency shelters. And you can find these dotted around Scotland, in other countries as well, but there's lots of them up in Scotland. And that adds another level of accommodation, something of interest as well, that you can't necessarily do in other countries. If you combine camping and staying in a bothy, both of which can be completely free, it's a very inexpensive way of having a great adventure. Number 5, the wild factor is definitely there in Scotland. Yes, there are some major cities like Glasgow and Edinburgh, but you can soon find yourself in the middle of nowhere without even phone signal and nobody around you, which is amazing. So I have that comfort feeling of being in the middle of nowhere yet knowing that I'm not too far away from civilization, which I really like. You can even paddle out to some more remote islands in the lochs or off the coast if you're wanting to get really remote and away from it all. What I like about Scotland though is although you can find yourself in the middle of nowhere, you're usually not far from a pub, a restaurant or a hotel or B&B, which does allow you to kind of come back down to earth and take shelter from the weather, which tends not to be fantastic all of the time, which leads me to my last point, number 6. Ideally, I would have agreeable weather. This is the one point where Scotland isn't going to tick that box, unfortunately. 50% of the time, it tends to be okay, but you can't guarantee anything when it comes to Scottish weather. As the old saying goes, if you're not happy with the weather, wait 5 minutes. That's the only real downside about cycling in Scotland. However, when the weather is good, it is absolutely breathtaking. When I went to the Isle of Skye a couple of years ago, I had one of those freak times in Scotland where there were no clouds in the sky, just bright blue sky, and it was unbelievably stunning. You could see for miles. However, when the weather isn't as great, it does add a little bit of drama to the adventure because you never really know what to expect. It throws things at you and you just got to be prepared, and it's always exciting to end your bikepacking trip knowing that you've been through a variety of different things, and Scotland absolutely delivers on that. So that's my opinion on the best country in the world for bikepacking. I've been to a lot of countries bikepacking and I haven't found one that stacks up quite as well as Scotland does at the moment, but I'm sure there are other amazing places out there. I would love to hear your thoughts, so put your thoughts in the comments. Tell me where I should go next because I would love to hear that and I would love to visit. Just a reminder, if you want to get your question answered, you can either send me a message on Instagram, leave a comment in this video or any other Q&A video, or you can send me a voicemail on my website. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.